Smartphones, iPhones and Androids, even though we all know iPhones are better. A hypothesized supercomputer that scans your face and knows your fingerprint. I think it's really cool. I use my phone often for so many reasons. I actually hope they get even more advanced. Do you know there are many discussion threads that compare iPhones being faster than supercomputers? Every benefit these smartphones bring, are there any downsides? Doing extensive research, I have come to the conclusion that they do more harm than good. One of the most harmful characteristics of smartphones is that they are addicting. As helpfulguide.org suggested, there is a disorder called nomophobia, a fear of being without a mobile phone. It's often fueled by an internet overuse problem or an internet addiction disorder. That's scary to think about. The iPhone in your pocket has the ability to alter your mind to create a dependency on its usage, kind of like it's taking control over you. A full 66% of adults suffer from nomophobia, says Psychological Today. This addiction takes away from relationships, sleep, and overall engagement with the things around you outside of your phone. My cousin invested almost all of his time in his phone, to where he has multiple portable chargers and uses his phone at the most inappropriate times. It was so bad that we would talk to him and we wouldn't get a response because he is so invested into his phone. To further my discussion with investments in the time with iPhones, how long do you think a day you're on your phone? 8 hours a day? 4, 2? I wake up at 8 every morning and pretty consistently go to bed at 11 and 12 at night. I actually downloaded this app a while back with a bunch of my friends to have a competition to see who has the least amount of screen time. I was shocked that I spent 5 hours and 14 minutes a day on my phone. Average. Out of my 16-hour day, I spent a third of my time on my phone. Thankfully, I can go into depth and see where I spend most of my time to find out how much of a lowlife I actually am. This week, I've already spent 7.5 hours on Snapchat, 7.5 hours on YouTube, and 4.5 hours on Instagram. Every app, including music, is literally almost 1/8 that, at 1 hour and 30 minutes out of the entire week. I spent 16.5 hours on entertainment and 41 hours a week with 18 hours on the social media websites. I am definitely concerned with these times, and I am going to alter my usage of my phone accordingly. Secondly, college students especially, we notice that our phones impose a massive distraction. Have you ever noticed you find yourself invested in an assignment, whether that's a speech or reading a book, and something catches your curiosity on your phone? 15 minutes pass and you realize you haven't made any progress for that period of time because you're browsing through Instagram after just checking what time it is. I did it not too long ago while writing this speech. India Times says, it clearly getting too engaged with mobile times adversely affects productivity. This idea of getting too engaged with your phone actually poses much more of a threat to our health as well, because we look at our phones so casually to where we see no harm in pulling it out our phone to text or call even when driving, when it's the most harmful time to do so. The National Safety Council reports that cell use while driving leads to 1.6 million crashes each year. Adds EdgarSnyder.com. Phones causing death, injuries, and car crashes is a substantial problem that laws can't exactly alter human behavior. Lastly, the issue with smartphones continues with the new findings on the effects of mental illnesses in relation to simply using your smartphone. EXCLI Journal goes very in depth with many studies in smartphones causing mental health issues. One issue I found very disturbing was a test that was done that evaluated phone usage leading to insomnia. There's a domino effect when it comes to mental illnesses leading to other mental illnesses. For this example, smartphone overuse does lead to insomnia and other mental health problems like depression, stress, and anxiety. For this exact test, it was the correlation for having insomnia lead to depression due to using your smartphone during the night. 34 cohort studies involving 1,777 participants were included in the meta-analysis, with an average follow-up period of 60 8.4 months. Statistical analysis suggested a positive relationship between insomnia and depression. The pooled RR was 2.27, and a high heterogeneity was observed, recorded by BMC Cytotry. I don't know about you, but I can definitely do without the insomnia and depression and all those other mental health issues. I personally like to be happy and not tired and not have to deal with depression because of a smartphone in my pocket. As my speech is coming to a close, there are many benefits to having a smartphone. For instance, multiple ways of instant communication, direct access to the internet, and for me especially, maps. Next time you are walking from class to class on campus, look at how many people's heads are pointed looking down at their phones while they make their way to class. The majority of people will be looking down, and because of this, they miss a lot of opportunities. My position for smartphones in the beginning of researching to now have not changed, but my own decisions that I will make when using my smartphone has. I live by the saying, strangers are friends you've never met. The less time you spend on your phone, the less harm to your mental health, and the more connected you'll be with the things happening around you. Thank you.